Welcome to Property Hotline. You're watching Magic Bricks Now, India's first property channel. I'm Faye D'Souza. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about buying, selling and investing in property. So if you have a question, you know how to get in touch. Our contact details are at the bottom of your screen. Amit Goenka, the Managing Director and CEO of Nissus Finance, joins me in the studio. Amit, it's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you, Faye. It's an equal pleasure.
It's always nice to chat with you. Let me open up the phone lines. I understand we have someone who's already called in with a question from Bangalore. Arun is on the phone line. Arun, tell us what your question is.
Hey, Faya, good evening.
Good evening. How can we help you?
Yeah, I was looking for an investment in Prestige Sunrise Park in Electronic City, Bangalore.
Right.
So I just wanted to know whether it would be a right investment as of now, or how should I wait? Should I hold on for some more time and then go ahead with it?
So tell me something. When you say investment, is this something that you're just, you're planning on buying and holding, buying and renting out? What's your plan?
No, I'm planning to move in. So it's under construction property. They're saying by next August there's going to be the possession.
Okay, all right.
So I've seen like quite a few properties there. I've shortlisted to the Prestige Sunrise Park and the Sriram there.
Okay, all right. So Prestige Sunrise Park, we'll pop that up on your screen. It's going at an average price of 4,300 to 5,700, depending on what you want to buy. It's a great price for the Prestige name and for the location, which is Electronic City. What would you recommend, Amit?
Right. So, Arun, of course, Electronic City has been the #1 choice for those looking to capitalize on the micro markets of the ITS corridor. Phase 1 obviously is the most infill location within that, and therefore it is far more expensive, or slightly more expensive than Phase 2 or Phase 3 of Electronic City. You notice that the prices have gone up clearly because of the emergence of the ITS sector, especially the startup valley of Electronic City. Almost 300 companies are operating out of there and only expected to expand with Phase 2 and Phase 3. I think Prestige, of course, is a great product, so Sriram. I think one is because it's nearing completion, so therefore that risk is not very high, though we always recommend looking at something which is already complete or nearing completion, so clearly that makes the checkbox. There are a few other options within that micro market which could be slightly cheaper but are ready to move in. There's Arat Rekiza, which is also in the vicinity, or you can look at Phase 2, which is not very far away, which will be at least 500 to 800 rupees lower compared to any project in Phase 1. There are a number of projects, including of DLF and Concord, which are in the vicinity.
So if you look at DLF and Concord, what you're recommending, and Arat, Prestige in terms of reputation and ability to deliver on time, what would you place your money on? I mean, if you're saying that it's going to deliver in August, is there any reason to worry about maybe a delay?
No, I wouldn't worry about it at all. I think it's a great choice, undoubtedly. One is clearly the demand for housing in that location is very high. There is expected about another 2 lakh jobs that are getting created in that vicinity, especially in Phase 2 and Phase 3. I'm just saying that if you want to maybe look at from a capital appreciation perspective, 5,000 to 6,000 rupees is the price there.
Sure.
It almost depresses by almost 1,000 rupees if you start looking at Phase 2 and Phase 3, which are also ready to move in apartments. And to that extent, one can potentially look at an upside to that entry price. Because this is nearly complete, I wouldn't be worried about it. Clearly, Electronic City has very, very strong dynamics, whether it's connectivity, the nice corridor, the road and rail transport system which is coming up there. So clearly, I think that market has its own strengths, and I wouldn't be worried about this project investment at all as well. I think it's a good option.
All right, it's a good option. So you can go ahead and buy that home, and of course, it will make you money in the long term. Rakesh Mishra has called us from Noida. Rakesh, what's your question?
I am looking for 2 BHK ready to move in project in Noida Extension, Noida Greater Noida Expressway.
Okay. A 2-bedroom ready to move in. And is this an investment? Is this a home that you want to buy?
It is for residential purpose.
It's for residential purposes. So then you must have some preferences of, what sort of schools you want, what sort of neighborhood you want. If you're going to live there, you might have already, you might already have a neighborhood that you prefer in all of Noida and Greater Noida.
Yeah, it should be well connected.
Okay.
Well connected. Yeah. Actually, I am working in Greater Noida.
Okay.
So that's why looking for the same.
All right, so Noida, Greater Noida, budget of 35 lakh rupees. I'm afraid, Amit, he's going to have to go closer to Greater Noida, isn't he, with that budget?
Yeah, so Noida Extension or Greater Noida West, that is now what it's called, clearly is where I think you'll find a number of opportunities, a number of options. We've recommended 3 or 4 ready to move in options which are within the 3,000 to 4,000 price bracket, because that's really
Right.
the selling price for Greater Noida West or Noida Extension. If you come within Noida, clearly the prices either become 1.5 to 2x of that, become slightly more expensive. The way the entire Noida Extension has developed as an alternate affordable location within the NCR region, wherein it has obviously given a run for its money to Rajnagar Extension, Ghaziabad, etc., has become very popular. The problems that were plagued because of land acquisition and other issues have got sorted out. So therefore, projects have been delivered. I think it's a great micro market. You could look at any of the other any of the options that we've recommended from a move-in perspective. Yes, the prices are under pressure in Noida in general. We do expect that once the absorptions start to come in over the next year and a half, then potentially prices will move up to
So if
closer
he's
to
looking
5,000.
for something ready to occupy, because his need is really to move into a home,
Yes.
how much ready to occupy supply is there in Greater Noida, and how much can he push the envelope on his 35 lakh rupees?
Well, I think one is that you really don't need to worry too much in terms of pushing the price budget, because within 35 lakhs, you still can get a good 2 BHK option, which is roughly about 1,100 square feet in the 3,000 to 3,500 rupees a square foot price bracket, and there are a number of options like that. As I said, in terms of supply, there are almost about close to 40 developers delivering close to about 7 million square feet over the next 5 to 7 years in that micro market, which is why I know the price will continue to be under pressure. A lot of these projects have been delivered and now it's not either fully sold or occupied. So therefore, I think the influx of the residential population still has to occur in that belt. It started as a cheap investment destination. It is now becoming a residential destination as a go-to stay place gradually. It will have its own time to that. Because still Noida is not fully occupied, nor is, and of course we have the expressway again, which is coming up very rapidly, and a lot of new developments are happening on the expressway, whether it is the Formula One circuit and what have you. So Noida extension doesn't have all of that. It's really something which competes with the Ghaziabad, the Rajnagar extension, and that sort of a micro market. So this will take time for people to start occupying it and becoming an infill location. But from a 5 to 10 year horizon, I see Noida extension prices certainly going up, because it has bucked the trend. It started selling at 2,000 to 2,500 rupees a square foot. It's gone to about 3,500 rupees a square foot over the last 4 years. It will take roughly the same amount of time for it to go from 3,500 rupees to 5,000. So the capital appreciation is not very rapid. As you can see, it's a very, very slow upward trend. But it is a more affordable go-to stay place. So people really don't go there now with the intention of
making an investment?
a huge upside.
All right.
Yes.
So if you're going to actually looking for something to live in, Noida Extension might make sense for you, especially with a smaller budget. Sudhir is also on the phone line from Mumbai with a question for us. Sudhir, what's your question?
Yes, hello. I'd like to invest in Tata New Haven, which is in Bangalore, beyond Jallahalli.
Yes.
I've been monitoring the project for about 2 years now. I want to know whether a 2 BHK, Optima variant is better or 3 BHK is better for a 5-year investment horizon.
Okay, and this is a pure investment.
I might shift later, but
Okay.
at this point in time, I'm just considering it as an investment.
Okay, just an investment. So, Jallahalli is, of course, near Pina, which is the industrial area of Bangalore, but it's receiving a lot of attention and will also eventually receive a metro line. So, Amit, in terms of a 5-year horizon, if he's going to pick up this apartment and hold on to it, would you recommend he goes ahead?
Certainly. First of all, I like the industrial belts of Bangalore a lot. I think the IT story is definitely very strong, but I see the newer emergence of industrial corridors, and Pina Industrial Estate is clearly a winner in that segment. Tata New Haven, Bangalore.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you there. If I can get Electronic City for 3,500 rupees per square foot, why would I pay 5,000 rupees a square foot for Jallahalli?
Well, first of all, I think Electronic City at 3,500 square foot will be a newer development coming up in phase 3, because the prices there are more close to 5,000 rupees to 5,500 rupees than 3,500 rupees. So I would say that this is a tad cheaper at roughly about 4,500 rupees compared to a 5,500, 6,000 rupees in Electronic City. Again, the amount of supply that is coming in Electronic City will, I think, continue to keep a pressure, especially when people are willing to move half a kilometer, 1 kilometer and go to phase 2 and phase 3. What happens with the Peenya industrial area, especially in the Tata New Haven, Tumkur Road vicinity, is that it is now capitalizing on the blue collar moving to a white collar industrialization coming in, and the supply that is there is not as extensive.
Sure.
So there are a number of projects like that, but if you have to list down 20 projects, it'll be hard. I mean, we can maybe go and list 50 projects in Electronic City, but listing 20 projects in that micro market will be hard. So just a few, which obviously keeps supply in check. It is targeted at a very specific sort of socio-economic segment, which is the mid-market, which is the industrial and the manufacturing segments. So I think that has a very strong story itself.
I mean, 4,000 rupees a square foot or 5,000 rupees a square foot, if he invests right now in Peenya, what kind of returns are you expecting over the next 5 years? Because from what we understand, Sudhir's horizon is 5 years, and he lives in Mumbai. He's going to be investing in Bangalore. What kind of capital appreciation would you expect?
So I think Tata brand has traditionally traded at about 20% to 25% premium to the rest of the market. And whether it's even Tata New Haven as an affordable segment, which came up as the first affordable housing of Mumbai, again actually almost grew by 50%. They started at a very low price point and has grown by 50%. Though I would say that because now this is a ready project, I don't see that much of an upside beyond 5,000 immediately. Unless the rest of the market really moves up. So maybe a 4,500, 5,000 will become 6,000 over the next 2.5 years. But really, in terms of a very large upside, that looks limited. Yes, I do see, of course, a rentability option, which is very strong there, because a lot of people really want to start on rent before they think of owning a property themselves in that micro market. So I would think that a 20% upside over the next 3 years is what you can.
Over 3 years.
So that's roughly about 6-7% sort of an annual appreciation is what you can expect. Of course, if you add the rental of another 3% on top of that, it'll be an annualized of about 10% per annum.
Well, then I'm going to be tempted to sort of knock off the property tax and the stamp duty, the registration, and all of the other costs from that return. But Sudhir, okay, so we're talking fixed deposit-ish return from this investment that you will make. So you'd use that as a benchmark to really decide whether or not you want to go ahead with it. S. Ramamurthy sent us an email. He wanted to buy a plot of land in the Vijaya Bank layout in Bannerghatta Road in Bangalore. He wants to know what the current pricing is and what's expected in terms of appreciation over 10 years. Now, we do know, of course, people in Bangalore do love their plots of land. Absolutely. And if he's getting something right now, in Bannerghatta Road, which is a fantastic location, what should he be paying and what kind of appreciation can he expect?
Yes, as you rightly said, I think Bannerghatta is a fantastic location. It's very well poised, near the electronic corridor, near the outer ring road. It's got, a very, very sort of high density development in and around that location. Clearly this location being, again, a fully developed micro market, it's hard to find a lot of plotted developments. Our research tells us that you should get roughly at about 1,000 to 1,200 rupees a square foot in terms of plotted developments. If you do manage to get that price, I think it's a brilliant price, because I know in some of our investments, which are way south of that location, the markets have actually moved to 1,400 and 1,500 rupees a square foot for completely well done plotted developments with a clubhouse and all amenities and last mile connectivity of utilities. So if you're getting all of that at a price which is sub 1,500 rupees, I think it's a brilliant price. We do expect the prices to actually appreciate by almost 10 to 15% there once the absorption is completely done, because really no new land parcels are available for such large layouts. So if you're looking at entering at anywhere sub 1,500, I think you can start expecting 2,000 rupees also per square foot over the next 2 to 3 years.
All right, so go ahead and make that investment then, Amit. What's your recommendation?
Yeah, I would think yes. I mean, as you said, plotting is always a favorite and a great buy, and there's enough demand for plots at any point in time. So easy to liquidate usually compared to a residential apartment.
All right, Bannerghatta Road, great location, and of course, nobody will ever say no to buying land in the city of Bangalore. Saurabh calls us from Gurgaon, and he has a question for us right now. Saurabh, go ahead. What's your question?
Hi. I just wanted to ask, what is the prospect of Golf Course Extension Road? I have bought kind of a villa in Vansalia.
Okay.
It's a low-rise thing. So what is the future prospects, and whether it's a good buy or not, and what is the good rate to buy it? I mean, if I was to like.
Okay. So have you already bought this this plot of land?
Sorry?
Have you already made the purchase?
Yeah, I am actually in the process of finalizing it. So I just wanted to recheck on what would be the going rate there.
All right. So what's the going rate there? And you want to know whether or not it's a good buy and you should go ahead and do it? You know, I also want to start off, I want to understand from you, is this a pure investment that you're making? What sort of expectations do you have?
I intend to shift here eventually, but as the builder has told me, it's going to be completed around 2017 end or maybe early 2018. So first of all, I need to also, get a kind of a view whether it is advisable to go ahead with this purchase, and does it have a good future in terms of the area and all of, and in terms of the appreciation.
You know, Amit, the thing that concerns me most about the NCR region is not so much the area and the future prospects, but it's just plain delivery. Now, this is unsold. Are you confident about delivery in this particular case?
So the project that he's talking about, Faye, is a ready project. It's a 23-acre master layout, and it has got about 125 units over 4 towers. And again, Golf Road Extension clearly is a very well sought after locality. You know, it started with Golf Road, moved to Golf Road Extension. When Golf Road went to about 8,000, 9,000, extension started at 5,000, 6,000. It's now moved closer to between 8 and 10,000 rupees a square foot, depending on what project you buy into. Ansal API clearly has been the leader in Gurgaon for a very, very long period of time. This is one of their better master plan communities. So no concern from a development perspective. Yes, otherwise you're right. I have been involved in a number of projects which have been delayed by over 5 years, and even projects which have been delivered partly, but construction never stops. So living amongst a under construction project. So, I'm assuming that's not the case with the Versalia project by Ansal API. Otherwise, fantastic developers, with a great history. Yes, so I would concede that don't look at under construction project in Gurgaon right now. The risk is just extraordinarily high. There are a number of other opportunities which may be slightly cheaper, whether it's by EDO or others in the same micro market. Gurgaon Extension will continue to benefit from the new influx of commercial offtake which has happened in the NCR region. As you're aware, a number of DLF buildings and other commercial developments have not only got absorbed, but there have been now new plans which have been cast to increase the entire commercial footprint in Gurgaon, which is clearly in the vicinity of Golf Road Extension going up to Sona Road.
Right.
So that obviously will have an impact on the upside. Now, whether this price will rise from 8,000 to 12,000 or 15,000 looks very hard to say right now, because alternate markets have got developed very rapidly. So therefore, the upside is a little bit of a challenge, unlike in the past where there was a 20-25%.
Putting it simply, you're saying that he could go ahead and buy it,
yes.
But actually, in terms of appreciation, that will take some time.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's a great location. It's a great address to have to be able to live in the Gurgaon Golf Road Extension vicinity, as opposed to going to Sona Road or as opposed to going to other parts of north of Gurgaon. So clearly, it's a great location. I think there are these few projects which are fantastic addresses as well. Good addresses and good developments tend to have a natural appreciation irrespective of price rises. So, it will obviously therefore lend itself to that natural increase of about 5 to 10% annually. But I don't expect any extraordinary jumps in pricing over the next 3 years, at least in Gurgaon.
All right. Don't expect any extraordinary jumps in pricing. So if you do want to go ahead and buy that home, go ahead and do so. Try and avoid, as far as Gurgaon is concerned, try and avoid anything under construction. And of course, like Amit said, you'll have to wait a bit to really see those, the sort of jumps in prices that we've seen in the past might not repeat themselves. I'm told Angad Tiwari is on the phone line from Shillong. He has a question for us. Angad, go ahead. What's your question?
At the outset, a very, very good evening to you, and my heartiest congratulations for an excellent property channel.
Thank you so much, Angad. It means a great deal coming from you as a viewer. I'm so glad you're watching us in Shillong and you've gotten in touch.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I just want to take the views of Amit on properties at Lucknow.
Okay.
Basically on Amar Shaheed Path.
Okay.
In in Gomti Nagar extension, there is a project by name of M.I. Russell Court.
Okay.
Can we have your comments on that project?
Amit, good location. Project specifically, what are your comments? Would you recommend he goes ahead?
So yes, you are right, Faye. I think there's nothing more prime than Gomti Nagar or maybe Amar Shahid Path when it comes to Lucknow. Clearly, it's a upmarket location, but the prices in this project tend to hover in the 4,000 mark per square foot, which means that the average ticket size roughly is about 60 lakhs in this project. They did open up their sales
Is
sometime
that
back.
in your mind expensive for Lucknow, or do you
No,
think
I
it's
don't
fine?
think so. I think the average price in Lucknow, I've been involved in very, very large townships, and there are townships by Ansal API, by Omax, and very other large developers from the north who've very large townships in Lucknow within the Gomti Nagar extension areas, which tend to hover closer to 5,000 rupees a square foot. So I think a price of 4,000 rupees, I think, is a very reasonable price for Lucknow. Unfortunately for Lucknow, the problem has been its inability to provide absorption. UP in general obviously has suffered from an absorption problem. There were news
By
about...
absorption, you mean basically there are apartments being built and nobody's buying them?
That is a problem. That is a problem because just too many townships got built in a very short period of time. Extraordinary amount of FSI and land bank got created, and a lot of licenses were given out for creating hundreds and hundreds of acres of townships. And clearly, the demand has not been there. There was a hope of a new airport and an international airport
that
coming
fundamentally means that if someone goes in right now, like Angad, who's on the phone line with us, goes in and buys something in Lucknow, given the kind of inventory there is in the market, basically it's supply versus demand. There's more supply, not enough demand. The possibility of you actually seeing an uptick in your prices is going to be slim. And that's true across Lucknow, irrespective of location and project, isn't it?
Yes, I would tend to definitely agree. I think the only advantage right now for the MI project that it is almost 10 to 15% below market median prices. So that clearly means that once the project is delivered, it will move up by another 1,000 to 1,500 rupees a square foot.
Would he be better off, since he's considering Lucknow, would he be better off putting that money closer, maybe Noida or Greater Noida? Same ticket size, 60 odd lakh rupees?
So any market like Noida or Gurgaon, which have a natural influx or a migratory population because of IT, ITS or manufacturing, tend to clearly attract a larger amount of demand and a larger rentability, as opposed to Lucknow, which doesn't have anything except for administrative services or being basically the political capital of the UP state. So I think that is basically the demand driver for Lucknow. There's no other industrial, IT, commercial drivers for Lucknow. So really it's the retired bureaucrats or the government population which tends to go into Lucknow and buy properties for the medium to long term.
Right, so if you're looking to rent out, you're looking to sell, it's actually just a pure investment that you're unemotional about since you live in Shillong, then you'd be better off looking at the NCR region or any other city where people move to work.
And of course, the other thing is this is under development phase. I think, the challenge of Lucknow is that it takes forever to deliver a project in that state. So I think that's the other risk you're running. Of course, the counter to that is that there would be an upside when it gets delivered. So
marginal upside though. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Amit, thank you so much for spending time with us this evening and answering those questions.
Pleasure.
Contact details are on your screen. We have a website. It's called mbnow.in. You can get in touch with us. You can reach me personally on Twitter as well. Thank you for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mbnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.